Hi everybody, Pastor Jeff Sinabaldo here. I am getting ready for a training run for Reach the Beach, and I am going to invite you to come along with me, so I'll see you on the road. Come on. All right, see ya. So thanks for coming with me today. I'm really happy you could join me. It's beautiful sunny day. So let me pause for a second and just tell you about Reach the Beach. It is a 203-mile relay race across the state of New Hampshire, and we are running 12-person teams. There are probably, 4,000 runners from not just around New England and around the country, but international. And Camp Calumet is running 6 teams. So 6 teams times 12, that's 72 runners. I am one of them. So there are 71 others just like me running for Camp Calumet this year. And we are running to raise money for camp scholarships. See where I get to run every day? Not too bad, huh? So I just want to share something personal. So 1994 changed my life. I was just getting done as a freshman in college at one of our Lutheran colleges, Carthage College in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I had been a church member my whole life, but like so many young adults, I had lots of questions and didn't know where to turn with them, and had lots of doubts about myself and God and the community that is known as the church. And as God leads us in so many unexpected ways sometimes, I ended up getting hired at one of Calumet's sister camps, a Lutheran camp called Crossways in Wisconsin, where I ended up serving the next 5 years, and is really the reason I ended up in seminary, because I fell in love with this God who loved me unconditionally and brought me into community, not by anything I do, but by love and mercy and grace. And I felt called to dedicate my life to sharing that same experience with others that I had first experienced at camp. And that's what I try to do in my life in the church, wherever it is I'm serving. So one of the great things about doing this video is not only do I get to show you around Old Saybrook, my town where I live, but I also get to take lots of breaks, which I don't normally do when I'm training. So thank you very much for that. But the other thing is, I wanted to stop and tell you a story. So when I was a camp counselor back all those years ago in the 90s, I had one cabin group in particular with 2 boys. One, we'll call him Dwayne. He was the consummate outsider. I mean, he kept to himself. He wasn't making any friends. He was having kind of a tough time of it. And I was, as his counselor, trying to do my best to include him in the group and give him opportunities and try to befriend him in any way possible. And it just wasn't going anywhere. I felt like a failure. And then there was this other young boy. His name, we'll just call him Chris. He was the leader of the group. And he also didn't like Dwayne at all. And so one of the things that kept on happening is Chris kept picking on Dwayne and undermining my efforts to make him part of the group. And I kept doing everything I could with him to try to get him to see the big picture, that we were about community, that it was about belonging, that it was about grace and mercy and love of Jesus, the hospitality of welcoming one another. And again, failure, totally was not working. And then it was the last night of camp, and just like Luther Hall at Camp Calumet, we had a big lodge at this camp where I was that week, and we had like a big all-camp sing-along, all of the best and brightest songs from the week, and everyone was singing, and the older youth, the high school kids on the other end, they started putting their arms around each other, reminiscing and loving one another as they were singing the songs, and it started to spread throughout the whole lodge. So it wasn't long before almost everybody was arm in arm singing the songs. And the moment came when Chris walked over to Dwayne, who was standing by himself, pulled him into the group, put his arm around them, and they both looked at each other and smiled and kept singing. And my fellow counselor and I looked at each other in tears, because this is what the love of Jesus looks like. This is why I'm running Reach the Beach. I've been part of Camp Calumet now these last, I came to New England at the end of 2003, however many years that is, and I've seen this ministry work in the lives of my people and in so many others, just like Dwayne and Chris, that one needed to belong and didn't find a place, or were so caught up in their own stuff they didn't know what it meant to love somebody, and all of a sudden they were arm in arm as brothers, or as brothers and sisters, or as sister and sister in the love of God. It was a Holy Spirit moment. I think if there's a reason I went to seminary, that was it. So I would like to offer you the opportunity to change a life. You know, so often we look at the world around us and all of its lousiness, and we think to ourselves, how could I ever make a difference? The problems are so big. But imagine if you could help someone like myself when I was a young adult exploring my own formation and leadership, and you could have a hand in making that happen. Or a kid like Dwayne, who was on the outside and just needed to belong, and you could help facilitate a sense of community for a child. Or someone like Chris in our world today that needs their world opened up a little bit to see another person, to love their neighbor as their self, just as Jesus loves us. Don't you want to be able to be a part of something like that? One of my goals this year is to get as many people as possible involved. So it's not just me running or the teams running, but it's all of us reaching the beach together. So maybe you could give $10 or $20 or $40 or maybe an even larger gift towards Reach the Beach. It costs about $700 to send a kid to camp at Camp Calumet for a week in the summer, and every little bit makes a difference. We have a goal for our whole Calumet team of raising $100,000 this fall, which we think we're going to do. So I thank you for your generosity and involvement, and just like this training run today, I invite you to think as if you are running along beside me. I know I will. There is still a long, long road ahead of us, but I know that together we can reach the beach. I'll see you when I get home. So I'm back, I'm cleaned up. It was another great training run. Thanks for coming with me. And really, thank you for your support. I really appreciate your prayers, and I really appreciate all of your donations to help get kids to camp. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to just lift up before I leave that you can keep track of me and the whole team at calumet.org/follow the race. So throughout September 15th and 16th, just log in and you'll see where we're at, what's going on, and ways you can stay involved. So thanks again for your partnership, for your ministry, and for your faithfulness. Bye. Peace.